DETV Sports Update is powered by DART, Delaware's transit service. Moving forward.
And welcome back inside DETV Sports, a Monday after draft weekend. The NBA playoffs heating up, a lot to get into today. And, of course, we're going to start with the NFL draft. But as always, we're going to go around the table of Jason McCall, Matthew Maurer back for another edition. Dennis, of course, behind the glass here at our Wilmington studios. But as always, as we mentioned, Jason back here after a very eventful weekend we're going to dive right into today. But I don't even have to ask him where he was because I know where Jason was this weekend. Saturday, big celebration, that and studying. So a combination of things for Jason. Jason, tell everybody about your action-packed weekend.
Yeah, man, we celebrated our baby shower for the Fresh Prince of Delaware. My son Deuce will be here in a month and some change. So we had family and friends come out, the library on Saturday. Thank you all who came out and supported. We really appreciate you guys. Then Sunday, I spent all day studying and turning in last-minute exams and paperwork, so officially done with that. And I can close the door on the bachelor's degree as of last night.
Real one.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. We love Jason's going to bring some credentials to the desk here going forward.
Tore credits into the master's down, so hopefully next year we'll talk about that. So who knows? But But for right now, we just working on one thing at a time.
Killing it.
The baby and the degree, and I'm happy, man. It was good to have the monkey off my back, if you will. Long time coming. You know?
Sure, man. Well, congratulations. We're thrilled to have you. Have us back here on
That's
a Monday.
And I'm happy that the Sixers are down 3-1 as well.
Oh, man.
Look at that. Just taking a cheap shot. Come the guy at the game wearing a Sixers jersey during the playoffs.
Wife's team.
That is terrible now.
Man, that hurt. Again, that's going to be a tough subject. We'll get to that here in a little bit. That's going to be tough for me to talk about, Matthew, as well.
Yeah.
How we doing? Welcome back. You know, Niners coming off of a draft over the weekend there. We'll talk about Jason's Ravens as well. Initial thought, we're going to get into everything draft, but how are you feeling after the Sixers weekend, the Niners weekend?
You're not happy, man. It was not a good weekend for me.
No.
So it is what it is.
And we're going to get into all of it. You're going to hear all of Matthew's thoughts coming up here in just a moment. We're going to get through the NFL draft recap, our winners, losers, some minor news and notes heading into that. Zeke Elliott heading back to the Cowboys. They needed a running back, so they got one. Again, just a quick reactions from you guys. I think I don't mind it if you're Dallas. I thought he played well last year.
You just got Tony Pollard.
They needed somebody. Get him for cheap to bring him back.
He's slower now. What's he going to do? He's slower now. He didn't do anything in New England.
He was good in New England last year.
He's slower now.
Are they going to give him his ARP card when he's there?
He gonna get.
He can retire there.
He's going to get that senior cup of coffee.
He's going to get that Gil Arenas, that platelet treatment for his knees or something.
On paper, I guess you could argue he'll be the starter as of right now, and Enrico Suave as the backup for the Cowboys.
Rico. That's saying a lot.
So go now to the NFL draft, and then we'll, of course, pick up everything. We'll close out the show with every NBA playoff update on those matchups, including the Philadelphia 76ers. NFL draft, though, Thursday, Friday, Saturday over the weekend. Detroit, over 700,000 people in attendance on a combination of those days, an NFL record. The place looked insane for the NFL draft. As always, or as we expected, I guess I should say, Caleb went number 1 to the Bears. Dennis, do we have the quick draft video intro here to the show? All right, we'll keep it rolling. Caleb Williams went number 1 to the Bears. Kind of as we predicted, right? 1, 2, 3. The quarterbacks all went. Some speculation on whether or not New England would trade out of that third spot. They did not. The Cardinals also stayed put as 4, as we all thought. They took Marvin Harrison Jr. The Chargers, who thought the Vikings might trade out, it's not with them. They take Joe Alt at tackle. A big, nice selection. They went to the offensive line there early. I thought they would trade back and get one. They stood right there. Joe Harbaugh was asked after, you guys needed some weapons there. Why did you ever think about taking 1 at 5? And he said, to me, offensive linemen are weapons.
Dumb.
So there you go. Harbaugh to Joe
I like
Alt.
the pick.
I hate the
We'll
pick.
talk about it in a second. Penix Jr., the surprise at number 8. We'll get your guys' thoughts on that. A lot to unpack there, including the frustration from Captain Mid Kirk Cousins. He was not happy about that one. Of course, the guy he got over it rather quickly. J.J. McCarthy, I know a lot of us had him deep on our big boards. He goes number 10, a little bit later than even some had thought, as the Vikings trade back in with the Jets to get their guy in J.J. McCarthy. So a lot to unpack here at the top of the draft. We all had different guys going number 1. In in terms of our big boards, it was Caleb Williams selected there. Then the Bears get Rome Odunze at number 9, so that's something that I thought would be a dream scenario for them. But let's start top of the draft here with Michael Penix Jr. That seems to be kind of the big topic of discussion or after Thursday night. Penix Jr., a lot of us had different thoughts on Penix or where he should be ranked, and the quarterbacks are on our big boards. None of us anticipated he would go 8th overall to the Falcons. 13 maybe to the Raiders seemed like a stretch, but a little possible maybe at the time. But 8 to the Falcons after signing Kirk Cousins to a 4-year contract, again coming off that Achilles injury, but a 4-year deal fully guaranteed for Kirk Cousins at the age of 35. And then they go ahead and draft Michael Penix Jr. 8th overall on a team that really desperately needed some help defensively. Could have had one of those top pass rushers or defensive linemen. They get Michael Penix, guys. And Jason, I know you've been chomping at the bit to jump on this topic here. Kirk Cousins, 4 years. I want to say $150 million. Is that what it was?
Yep, $166 million, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, a big deal once again for one of the best negotiators in NFL history. They take Penix Jr. 8th overall. There's a chance we don't even. I mean, there's a small chance we don't see him at all with the Falcons. I know it sounds crazy, but what do you think of that selection at number 8 for a team that was supposed to be trying to win the division this year?
So, I understand drafting talent, but there were talent at other positions of need for Atlanta. So
Dallas Turner.
It was an asinine pick from an aspect of now you have to pay him on a top 10 rookie scale, and you're paying Kirk Cousins. So you're thinking about the fact that in 4 years from now, if Penix is still on the team, he's looking for an extension going into the 5th year where you still have Kirk Cousins there. So you have to pay both of them money.
And let's touch on that fact. I mean, the math doesn't even really make sense.
It doesn't.
Jason's saying you have Kirk Cousins on a 4-year deal. That rookie contract's going to be for 4 years. So by the time Kirk Cousins plays out his contract, Matthew, basically Penix will be a free agent, and they won't even know. They'll have to repay him, but they won't know what they have without seeing him on the field. I mean, there's a small scenario where Cousins, they move on earlier, but on paper, when you pay Kirk for 4 years, you expect him to be there for 4 years. And again, if that's the case, Penix's contract is up at the end of that as well. We both liked Penix. I know in our quarterback rankings in the top of our boards, but number 8 to the Falcons in that situation. How do you like that situation for Penix and the Falcons?
I mean, I think this is a clear indication of how poorly the Falcons thought in terms of the roster construction. I mean, Penix is 23; he'll be 24
Again,
when
that's
the
a good
season
point.
starts.
Not a young quarterback.
He's not a young guy, and you're talking about having him sit behind Cousins, and you're paying Cousins this exorbitant amount of money. To me, if you knew that Penix was going to be your guy that you had to get, you should have never entered into the contract with Kirk Cousins. I can understand why Kirk Cousins is miffed. If you would have took a guy in the 2nd round or 3rd round, I think
that's
if you're
different.
Kirk Cousins, that's different, right? You sit there and say, that makes sense. I'm 35, 36. I can wait. Yeah, sure. That makes sense. But you don't take a guy that's going to be 24 when the season starts and you did the top 10 pick.
And that's the thing. 1st round would be insane. Jordan Love was in the 20s, and that was asinine when the Packers took with Aaron Rodgers. This was 8th overall.
It's a different pay scale. Pick. It's
way different pay scale.
A pay scale, and then for the talent that you had in that position, that again were for places of need for your team, quarterback wasn't a place of need. You could have gone into the later rounds or in free agency and got a quality backup. So you're essentially paying a starter to be your number 2 for 4 years.
It's great. And again, they needed help on defense. This is a team that was a game or two out from winning that division, and they are drastic. And that was with Desmond Ritter under center.
I mean, you have
now you bring
like,
in Kirk Cousins. They are the favorites to win that division. And again, defense needed help. You had Dallas Turner. If you wanted to be a little crazy, take Latu maybe early as a pass rusher, somebody like that. They needed something on defense, maybe a corner to play opposite of A.J. Terrell, a little bit of something. They get absolutely nothing that's going to help them out this year.
So just to give everybody some clarity, Penix is getting $22.9 million with a $13.5 million signing bonus. So you have that, and then you have this massive amount you have. That's just quarterback. It's like – do you guys know what you're doing here? It doesn't look like it. I don't know. I don't get it.
And you could argue, devil's advocate here, Jason, as you could argue, though, he's coming off a torn Achilles at 35 years old.
It's strong as possible.
And again, but if that's the case, you don't sign him to a 4-year contract anyway.
It's pretty hefty. Yeah, pretty hefty deal. Like I said, Kirk Cousins' agent is the GOAT. We've called him that a couple times. The GOAT. He's been playing under fully guaranteed contract since 2015.
Shout out to that. He was the first quarterback to ever get that done.
Yeah, first ever.
Oof. And then we'll see again.
So 10 years and playing on guaranteed money.
It's going to be interesting to see. Again, the Falcons were in prime position to win that division, and they still possibly can, but it could have been a lot easier had they taken a position of need there at 8th overall. I mean, even trade back, I know the Raiders would have taken him at 13.
I mean, apparently Coach Raheem Morris was in love with Penix, so that's why they drafted him.
Man, I don't care.
We'll see. Dennis,
but it's still dumb.
Again, Dennis has our little recap video of just a little montage of what happened early on, some of the big picks in the draft, and we'll pick it back up and chat about it here in a moment.
Quarterback, Southern California.
There he is, a Detroit cheer for Caleb Williams.
NFL draft. The Washington Commanders select Jaden Daniels, quarterback, LSU.
So it is the reigning Heisman Trophy winner.
Quarterback, North Carolina.
So it is the 21-year-old from North Carolina that is going to New England. As we all know, in 2020.
NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Michael Penix Jr.
Well, there it is.
Quarterback, Washington.
That is the first surprise of the NFL draft, to say the least. The 4th quarterback off the board is
Vikings select J.J. McCarthy, quarterback, Michigan.
And a huge ovation from the Wolverine heavy crowd here in Detroit, just down the road. And as you can see, in Van Buren Township, Michigan, he is going to
a little skull there from J.J. McCarthy, who we'll touch on now.
For the Stars. Keep reaching.
The Giants apparently were in negotiations along with the Vikings to try to get up to number 3 with New England. Giants wanted Drake May. They were unable to do that.
Yep.
The Vikings wanted Drake May as well. Weren't able to get to 3. New England obviously wanted to stay there. Josh McCown, the quarterback's coach in Minnesota, coached Drake May in high school. That didn't happen. Instead, the Vikings come back up to number 10 with the Jets to get their guy in J.J. McCarthy. Now, on paper, coming into the season, Sam Darnold was the starter. Some people are saying maybe he can be the starter coming into the season still. Either way, J.J. McCarthy goes number 10, one of the biggest, guys that has flown up the board the last couple months. Some people like him. We're kind of on the fence here, I guess, or maybe not even on the fence. I don't think nobody likes him here sitting up at top of the desk. Your guys' thoughts on J.J. McCarthy going 10th overall to the Vikings, and what could be the best quarterback situation, though, out of all these guys to go to with Kevin O'Connell, that great offensive line, and some of those weapons in Minnesota?
I mean, either way you slice it, J.J. McCarthy is still a guy that you're taking a quarterback that never really had to make pressure throws, was in a system that was run heavy, and really didn't do much until the college playoff system started. So to me, J.J. McCarthy is just one of these guys that scouts trick themselves into liking, and they get a lot of hype on him, and they put a lot of polish on him, and before you know it, you're reaching. And I think J.J.'s got good potential. I like him more than I like Bo Nix, but I mean, I didn't like Bo Nix either, so I don't know how much that.
The first time I was 5 or 6 quarterbacks and went in the top 12 picks. I mean, truly incredible the way this board fell. Not a lot of people thought Denver would have the cojones to take Bo Nix at 12, maybe trade back up in a late first round scenario. They stay pat, take him at 12. J.J. McCarthy goes at number 10. And again, a lot of these quarterbacks, especially those two, maybe not even with first-round grades, but you see quarterbacks teams tend to overdraft that quarterback position. Jason, was that the case again this year?
I hate to be this guy, but
I don't know where you're going to go.
But if these
are you going to stick up for J.J. McCarthy?
If these quarterbacks were of a different complexion, they would not be in the first round. I've seen other years where quarterbacks similar skill sets they were drafted and dropped second, third round and below. They wouldn't have got drafted in any other year in the first round. Not at all. I've seen it too many times.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of our biggest winners.
That's my hot take.
And losers. I want to start, though, at least with me and my losers. I'm going to go with Denver. Denver is
another team like Atlanta. What the hell is management doing? The whole
It's been a weird 3 years.
Russell Wilson situation? No, but even when John Elway was president, he made some boneheaded decisions. So it was like
Paxton Lynch.
Brock
Osweiler.
I mean, it's been so many different blunders in Denver.
And maybe Las Vegas and the Raiders, again, they wanted Penix. That didn't happen. Maybe, and again, that's why Denver took him at 12. Maybe they thought Las Vegas would take him at 13. It would still be a reach there. Denver could have traded back up into the first round. If they don't take him there and he slides past the Raiders, there's a chance he ends up in the second round, Bo Nix. A very good chance. Instead, he goes 12. You get some of those Drew Brees comparisons again. People have been saying that. Yeah. That people have said that
Drew Brees
comparison.
At Purdue or shoulder injury in San Diego, Purdue?
What you mean, Jody Breeze, the rapper?
Not Jody.
I don't know nobody no Drew Brees.
And again, maybe
Brees, watch for the hook.
Yeah, watch for the hook. What are we talking about here? Drew Brees. Why? Because he's white? I don't understand that.
He got a birthmark patch on his face or
Like,
something?
what are we doing here? We just throwing out
names.
Random comps?
Hey, not me. People that do this professionally have some comparison. Small comparison.
We're professionals, sir.
I meant like the mock draft, like Peter Sheeto, those guys that do the mock drafts that they call them experts every year. We'll see how it goes with Bo Nix. I think way too early on 12. I had him in the 40s.
I had him third round.
Third round, hey.
Yeah, third round.
I had him in the second, but I mean, again, it's like I don't get it. Like you're reaching for a guy that's literally been in college for 5 years.
61 career starts, most of all time for a
Yeah, and there's a reason for it. If this guy was as elite as people are acting like, he would have been gone. Like he stayed in college because he had to. So like.
And we talk about that Oregon.
It paid off for him, I guess.
It definitely paid off for him.
And the Oregon, if you watched again his early tape at Auburn, you would have never. Again, he was a high recruit coming out. You'd have never thought that he would be a first-round pick after those couple years at Auburn. And again, when you go to Oregon and play in that kind of system, it's a lot of quick throws, yards right.
And I'm not trusting a QB from Oregon.
And that's the tough part. We'll see how he blends with that offense.
Joey Harrington,
from Sean Payton,
Marcus Mariota.
Oh man,
who are we trusting from Oregon? That's been a quarterback.
I don't. There.
Okay.
Let's stick, though, with kind of our biggest winners of the draft for me. And I'm going to start with the hometown team here. I don't love what they did, but I like it. I know, Matt, you must have liked what the Eagles did there. They get Quinyon Mitchell.
Ebony and Ivory.
Up there. And then they come back and get Cooper DeJean, who I love. He's probably going to play safety for him. The nickel, we'll see what he does. Special teams about. So they needed some corners. And we were wondering if they would go there in the first round. Not only do they go that, they go with two corners in the top 45 and two really highly ranked guys as well in those two. What do you think of the Eagles draft? I have them as one of my winners.
I have him as one of the winners for sure. I mean, I love what they did. I think Quinyon Mitchell was my top.
I would have had Arnold, but yeah, I know you loved Mitchell.
Cooper DeJean, I didn't have as high. I had him as I think I had him fourth, but I mean, it's still a great pick, especially in the second round.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I would have preferred my Niners had taken him, but it is what it is.
I'm shocked John Lynch doesn't step up. It's kind of I think John Lynch might like similar play styles out of those guys.
And I tell you, I think they did phenomenal. In what they did, Howie made some really good key moves there.
Made a lot of 8 trades, most ever.
First time for everything.
Draft.
Him making some good
bets. The Chiefs did, I think, really good. I like what Baltimore did.
That's what I have here.
And I like what the Rams did with Jarrett Verse. I really like that pick.
They had a couple, and I like Blake Corum, and they got another DB.
But out of the top 20 picks, the pick I hate the most, besides my guy, my team, which was Ricky Pearsall, I hated that pick most. In the whole first round. But the second guy, the number one guy, is who the Colts took at 15, this Latu.
Yeah, they got Latu.
I'm sorry. You're taking a guy that had massive neck injuries to the point where he was almost retired from football.
Yeah.
And you take him and you think it's going to get better in the pros? I don't know, man. Like, to me, the neck is where a lot of contact happens in football. You have a guy that almost retired. I mean, we saw a legendary quarterback literally be reduced in his legacy, which is, Peyton Manning with neck injuries. The neck is nothing to joke around about.
Andrew Luck had all kinds of stuff.
Right, and you take a guy like this in the top 20, I don't get that, but whatever. We'll find out if it works. History tells me it's not going to work.
Well, this year they get the way of the Guardian caps on their helmet if they want to now for the season.
It's going to be weird if that's...
Yeah. I'll say this, too, about the NFL. I think they got to decide whether or not they want to play football or they want to play two-hand touch. Now, I know people are going to say that's barbaric and all this other stuff, but they're trying to make a game that's inherently dangerous. They're trying to make it less dangerous. And as long as you got human beings flying as fast as they can, hitting guys as hard as they can, there's going to be injuries. There's no way to regulate that out of the game unless you're doing two-hand touch. So, I mean, the league at some point, they're going to have to come up with something. They're going to have to be comfortable with something. I don't know what that looks like in the future. I mean, they stopped the hip tackle now. They made the changes to the kickoffs. I mean, I think this year we're probably going to see offense skyrocket. And
a record for offensive players in the 14 straight.
And I mean, I got to be honest with you.
Now, man.
Record was 7.
Yeah, the NFL, look, they could find themselves like the NBA in a couple years where you got guys out here making numbers that just don't make sense, and you got to sit there and figure out, well, why is this? And I don't know.
It's already happening, though.
Yeah.
To me, it's already happening.
Well, it's already happened with the passing for sure. But what I'm saying is when you got guys now, what's to stop a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes in this era dropping 6,000 yards passing? It seems crazy, but, I mean, when you keep handcuffing the defense the way you are, I don't see how that's not possible.
And we're seeing it with the draft. There is a reason 14 straight offensive guys went. The league is trending in that direction. We talk about it a lot, and it's going to continue to trend in that direction.
It's trending, but not using running backs. Like, that's what's crazy. Not using running backs, but it's trending for offense still, which is dumb to me, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just my take. I'm sorry.
Against some other winners. People were questioning the Bills, but they were able to move back and still get Keon Coleman. They got Ray Davis, who I really like, the running back out of Kentucky that's slipped a little bit. Another good pick for the Bills. You mentioned the Chiefs trading up to get their man Xavier Worthy. I think he's going to be great in Kansas City with Andy Reid in that offense, and obviously Kingsley Semeatia from BYU. The Steelers addressed that offensive line. They had a fantastic draft. Troy Fautanu falls to 20. They had him number 10 on their big board, and they get him as well.
So the reason why the Steelers went old lineman back-to-back is because Justin Fields and Russell Wilson are 31st and 32nd in reaction time out of the pocket throwing the ball. They're the two slowest quarterbacks throwing the ball out of the pocket. So they had to draft old lineman to get them time and protection. And when you give Russell Wilson protection, he's one of those people where if you give him 2-3 seconds, he's going to carve you up. So they're already doing, and you set up the future with Justin Fields learning the same offense. So they're thinking down the line. So it's a very good draft for the Steelers with those picks.
Yeah, they got some good ones again. Zach Frazier mixed in there. Some great picks. They're going to beef up that offensive line over there in Pittsburgh. I thought, though, the Colts, and you talked about Leia Tulatu, and maybe this is just something for A.D. Mitchell to fall all the way. I want to say 52 overall is where he finally went. And, again, maybe some character issues were some of the rumors after the fact there. I mean, I had him 18 on my big board. I was just shocked to see that. Yeah, I had him as a first round for sure. Very surprising. Some interesting to see, what comes out about A.D. Mitchell. I know there was some stuff about some diabetes issues that people were having, saying, low blood sugar, it's a lot to take care of. I mean, people do it. Mark Andrews was able to do it. He keeps on a wrap, and he performs very well. So I don't see that being a big issue, but somebody must have thought so. But I think he's going to be a steal for Indianapolis to be with Anthony Richardson next year. Perfect for him along Pittman and the rest of those guys. So let's take a look at now the Rookie of the Year odds and some of these picks going forward. Caleb Williams, the initial favorite at plus 210. A good situation for him in Chicago. Marvin Harrison Jr. second. Daniels third. J.J. McCarthy sitting there fourth, followed by Malik Neighbors at fifth. At the bottom of the list, Michael Penix Jr. at plus 6,000. If you think about Kirk Cousins coming off that Achilles and maybe he does go down again, good odds if Penix were to maybe come in and start somehow early. We don't see it happening, but you never know.
I'm going to put my money, if I'm going a long shot or I'm going to put money on Keon Coleman. Because he's going to be force-fed. They don't have anyone else really in Buffalo to throw to. He's gonna be force-fed all year. So
we're going to see what he's got early.
He's going to get those numbers. Yeah, he's going to get them early.
Yeah, if he's good, he will perform for sure. A nice list there. J.J. McCarthy, we talked about his situation. He's coming in at number 4, so obviously he's expected to have a little bit of success, at least in terms of those odds coming in. Malik Neighbors at plus 1,400. And, again, I like Malik Neighbors. I had him behind Odunze in my wide receiver rankings. But Neighbors goes to the Giants, a tough situation. Some thought the Giants would take a quarterback. They take Neighbors, who could be the most explosive wide receiver in the draft. But not really anybody to throw him the football. So still to see him at number 5. I'm a little bit surprised by him to see him in the top 5, not because of the player, but because of the situation. I think it's going to be tough. And, again, I don't think we should judge Neighbors on his rookie year. Maybe he'll have a great rookie year and really, put up 1,000 yards and score 8 touchdowns. Who knows? But with Daniel Jones there at quarterback, I think it's a tough situation for Malik Neighbors to have instant success. Again, haven't had a 1,000-yard wide receiver since Odell Beckham Jr. in 2018, I think it was.
Yep.
That's a tough situation to go to for a really talented receiver. I just wanted to say I'm interested to see that situation.
Well, you got to think about also the receivers they had 2018 on weren't really high-level receivers, or they were always hurt too.
Signed Kenny Galladay to that big contract.
Or they were hurt. So I don't think they haven't had a true healthy number one since 2018, if we're going to be honest about it.
But you could also make that
Sterling
argument.
Shepard never materialized too much.
But I think you could also make the argument that it was the quarterback's fault in that scenario. If you have a good quarterback, maybe you can find a 1,000-yard receiver.
I think it's quarterback.
There's been some bad 1,000-yard receivers.
I think it's quarterback along with injuries, though. I think it's both.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Both. But Daniel Jones isn't the answer, and you're paying him $40 million a season. So I mean,
fifth largest cap hit in the NFL for Daniel Jones. Going to be tough for the Giants next year and Malik Labor. So we'll just see. Just wanted to touch on that quickly. Brian Thomas Jr. He slips to Jacksonville. He'll take over for Calvin Ridley, who left to go to Tennessee Titans. I like that pick for them. Anything else stand out to you guys from draft day? Any other picks that you like? I like Jonathan Brooks going to the Panthers.
Tez Walker to the Ravens.
Huge pick. I love that as well.
The offense is tailor-made for his game.
And Troy Franklin slipping way deep.
That's a great
in
pick.
this draft. He slept. I mean, I think fourth round for Troy Franklin. A lot of people had a second-round grade on him, so a little bit surprising there as well. Brock Bowers in Las Vegas down the list.
His father did not like that pick.
Not at all. Nope.
Yeah, it's gonna be. He doesn't know who's gonna be throwing him the ball either.
Leg it to the Panthers.
Devo Samuel-esque type player.
The Panthers quietly have a decent receiving core. Just got to make sure that Bryce Young can throw in the ball.
Yeah, that'll be the key. If they can keep him healthy a little bit and keep him
They
upright.
quietly have a nice mix of wide receivers.
So we'll see if they can keep him
Not like elite,
get him going. I guess
serviceable. I'll say they have a serviceable core of wide receivers.
Closing words, wrapping up here on the NFL draft. Anything you like?
Niners, talk about them.
And again, I'll preface this with this. I like Ricky Pearsall. I had him high on my list. I didn't have him. I had him right around 27 or 28 total. Didn't see this coming, though. Did not see the Niners taking Ricky Pearsall in the first round. I was disappointed and surprised because I thought maybe somebody in the early second round would come trade back up and grab him. But first-round pick for Ricky Pearsall to the Niners.
Yeah, I just don't like it, man. I'm not happy with it. I mean, we didn't trade up. We didn't do much of anything. We just – and look, I understand. I've seen the tape. I understand Ricky Pearsall has some good hands and makes good catches.
Exceptional route runner.
Good
I
hands.
understand he's a solid athlete, and I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying I would have been happier with Jackson Power Johnson. I'd have been happier with maybe Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid McKinstry. There's other needs I just think we should have addressed. I don't know if wideout. I mean, we paid Juwan Jennings a lot of money to be the third wideout. I don't know why we're panicking now at wideout because Ayuk might leave. If that's the case, why we paid Juwan Jennings all that money? So, like, we could have waited back and went down to the – I think what was it? The next pick we had what was it? I can't find it now. Slipped.
And I kind of expected them to go offensive line. I know you wanted them to go offensive
That's a
line.
fact.
Did they? And it's slipping my mind now. Did they address that at all? I know not in the first two rounds.
No, they went farther into the rounds and got some guys. But, I mean, nobody that has any intrigue. I thought Buffalo has an interesting rookie free agent that they signed, that kid from England that's playing rugby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 6'7", 300 pounds. So he's a big boy. So maybe they're trying to do what the Eagles did, with Mulata. So that'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
Jordan Mailata. That was a great job. That was a good move by Howie there that time.
Yeah, that's one of Howie's rare good moves. He's still but yeah.
Hey, Dre's out of this year. We'll see what happens with some of those corners. Eagles fans loved it. Everybody.
He did a great job. I give him credit. He did a great job in this draft.
We'll see. Time will tell with these DBs early coming up in the preseason. We're going to make the preseason fun with this draft. That will make the preseason watchable.
Yes, preseason will be fun.
Yeah. So that'll take us now to more important things here in the NBA. It's playoff time.
Yes.
Time to take an update and across the landscape here in the NBA. And let's start with maybe the most exciting player in the league right now. Again, all of us are fans of him here on the show.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. I mean, we just have been kind of stunned in awe of what he's been able to do all year. And now he does it on the biggest stage here in the playoffs. Suns beat the Timberwolves 4-0 in the regular season. Timberwolves couldn't beat them at all. 4-0, get the brooms out. They sweep Phoenix. Competitive, if you want to call it that. Anthony Edwards dominates just the third series win in franchise history for Minnesota. The first sweep in Minnesota sports history. Never been done in any sport. Baseball, basketball, you name it, they've never done it. The Twins, the other teams in Minnesota, never been done. They are the first.
The Wild and the Vikings?
Wild, the Vikings, you name it. The AAA, whatever team of the teams they got, never been done. So Anthony Edwards, over 30 points per game in the series, was lights out in the fourth quarter, 10 points per game, 67% from the floor, 67% from three. Didn't miss a free throw. Is he the new face of the league? And then we'll get into some of the other things with the Timberwolves going forward, and then also the Suns. We'll touch on them. Anthony Edwards, the new face of the NBA, guys?
Yeah, I got beef. So here's what I got beef about.
Because you're an Anthony Edwards guy, so let's
here's what I got beef about with Anthony Edwards. It's not Anthony Edwards I got beef with. I got beef with the people that run the league. Because I got a question. So Anthony Edwards last year dropped 24 a game. The year before, he dropped 21 a game.
He should have been the face.
That's where I'm getting at. So my question is, why is Anthony Edwards having to do something extraordinary? And now for people to say, this kid is a top 20 guy. I'll tell you why. Because the league has been around pandering to international people, trying to get the international stars the looks and the views and the clicks. If Anthony Edwards had come from France or whatever, Serbia, they'd be out here saying he's the face, he's the future of the league. They'd be having him on commercials and everything else. This kid, mark my words, this is just getting started. And the thing about Anthony Edwards that I like about him is, and I think this is the reason why they beat him so bad, this is the first time I've ever seen KD literally get ate alive and had no fight.
It's hard to watch.
There was not a single player that looked him in the eye. And Bradley Beal, like I told you before, you're a fraud. You're not a real star. You're just a guy that can shoot.
I stuck up for him, but
just a guy that can shoot, man.
Because he's a Florida guy.
He didn't stick up for me.
Just a guy that can shoot, man. And people don't like to hear that. But listen, there's a difference between the good players in this league and the okay players in this league. The difference is the good players in this league have other things. So when Andrew Wiggins, who everybody thought couldn't play basketball, when he left Minnesota and went to Golden State, he showed his value. Better team.
Two-way player.
All right. Iguodala went from Philly.
Well, he was good in Philly, too, though.
Yeah, of course.
And again, the fans never gave him the respect he deserved. But
All-star, Olympian, everything, man.
Yeah, but
he still, again, Philly.
But he got more love in Golden State. And he got
Denver,
the finals MVP.
He did, which is again,
even Denver prior to going to Golden State got some love.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying when guys are great players, they show more value than just I can throw up 20 points. I'm going to tell you right now, Bradley Beal, if he don't throw up 20 points, it's nothing.
He's useless.
It's useless. And I mean, people that trash John Wall, now you see what John Wall was really doing with Washington.
Yeah.
He made this guy look way better than what he was. He was a great player on a bad team, and now he's on a good team, and he can't get nothing done. And I think it exposed him.
And Matt, we talked about this. We sat here the day they made the trade.
Yeah.
And talking about how we thought they would do. And Matt said all this. Then we were worried about who would run the show, right? Who was going to be the point guard? Because their argument was it could be Beal. And not only that, he wasn't even. We thought he would at least be coming back healthy. He wasn't even healthy all year.
And I got smoke for one more person.
Light it up.
I got questions. Can somebody please tell me why people are still listening to Isaiah Thomas? This is a guy.
Yeah, this just came out.
This is a guy who destroyed the CBA. This was a league that existed for over 40 years. It was the minor league of the NBA. He became commissioner of the CBA. He destroyed it. He went to the Toronto Raptors. He was trash. He went to the New York Knicks. He was trash. And now he's in Phoenix. He gave the owner all this advice on how to build the team. He said, well, these guys, when they'll get together, they'll be professional enough and good enough that they'll figure out how to win. Why are we still listening to Isaiah Thomas?
This is the same guy who had Jamal Crawford, Penny, Steph Marbury, and Steve Francis all in New York as well.
Right.
Did you get that?
Right. Good, great point.
It's a lot of names.
With Zebo.
And
couldn't do nothing.
Yeah. Why are we listening to this guy?
And again, one more thing, just on Bradley Beal, we mentioned, offensively his limitations, which is, the good part of his game was really bad defense. I mean, Really?
He's never been a defender.
He tried on Anthony Edwards as the primary defender in this series. He gave up 51 points on almost 70%, I believe.
Why was he the primary defender?
Well, that's
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered the way that Anthony Edwards was playing. He blew by Durant, he blew by Booker and Beal like they were standing.
Frank
still.
Vogel better be fired by midnight tonight.
It ain't just Frank Vogel, though.
And that's the thing. It's not. I mean,
Devin Booker wants to play that I'm the baddest light-skinned guy in the game. Listen, bro.
He's soft as cotton.
You soft, bro. You soft. You baby Charmin soft, bro.
and do you want to
Stop.
do you want to focus right now before we're going to touch on both Minnesota going forward, or do you want to stay with the Suns here at the little fallout of Phoenix's sweep? Where do you want to go?
Fallout's going to be worse.
Fallout's going to be
All right,
worse.
well, let's start with the fallout with Phoenix. Durant under contract for, I believe, 2 more years. In 2 years, he's going to have a Damian Lillard $60 million cap hit in Phoenix.
Woo.
The way it's looking right now, he's not going to be a Sun in 2 years.
He's
They're
retired.
going to have to trade
I'm going to say it now. KD, you need to retire, good
Woo.
brother.
He's not going to retire.
You need to, because your best years leading the league are behind
But
you.
he's still a really good
No, the way
Right,
y'all,
let me ask you this.
the way y'all dog Melo, you need to be dogging KD the same way. And the way y'all get LeBron
I think
smoke
he's
about
still-
not winning games and stuff, KD is worse than LeBron.
So
Not-
can we
not
all
winning
agree
playoff
that
games.
now KD could not be your best player on a championship team? Can you say that? Do you
he
think
never
that's
has
accurate?
been.
You're right about that.
He
but
never
I'm
has
talking
been. What are we talking about? He
on
never has
paper-
been.
You're right, but on paper you would think that
He's
he
a
would be.
scorer, but the best player on the team,
Ow.
he never has been. Let's
But
talk
like I
about
said,
it.
So if you're Phoenix, right, you would have been better off maybe had you not made that trade for Beal, gave up all those assets. They had Chris Paul. They would have had him running the point guard. They made the finals with Chris Paul and Mikal Bridges just a few years ago. Those guys are gone. Again, when it's all said and done in 2 years, they will not, in my opinion, and you can put this down, they will not have Beal and Durant will not be on that roster in 2 years.
The Suns don't have a first-round pick until 2031.
So the
Think
next
about that.
question is, and again, this is a hypothetical
Think about that.
situation. If you're Phoenix, you
7 years,
have
no
to
pick.
trade Durant, one for the cap hit, because you have nothing. You have to bring something back. They have the worst roster in the NBA, the worst raw depth just in its entirety. Where do you think Durant could
I'm
end
not
up?
selling
Would you want Durant
I'm
to
not
end up?
selling my soul for Durant to come to my team.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They obviously wouldn't have to give up. But I'm saying a hypothetical situation. If you didn't have to give up too much, where do you want him to go? Where
The
do you see
only
him?
logical place he can go to right now is the Knicks. They got
They got assets too, and they have assets.
They got to move on from Randall, and the Suns got to move on from KD. That's the logical swap right now.
Yeah, I would go with
KD
that.
New York.
I like
kinda
that
like that
move.
too.
That's
Actually,
logical.
and I
That's
said maybe, and I brought
that's
this up
logical
before the
swap.
show. I don't know if Matt was here yet. KD going back home. Sam Presti has tons of assets in
Locker
Oklahoma
room
City.
cancer,
They've
break
got
up
a nice
chemistry.
young
No,
team there.
no.
They need a two-way wing player.
Listen, can we say this about Durant?
Yeah.
Is Durant? Ooh, this is gonna be nasty.
Go ahead, let's go.
But is Durant a guy that if you wanted to bring him in, do you see him as a cancer or an asset
I
now
don't.
at this point?
He's a
I don't
cancer
see
to
him
me.
as a cancer.
I'm-
I think it's
You
more
don't think
neutral.
he's a cancer?
I think it's more
Cancer.
neutral than negative at this point.
Okay,
cancer.
everywhere he's going after Golden State, who we all say has, and I put
But I
Stephen
don't blame
Curry in the
him for
top
that.
10 as
Yeah.
one of the best players of all time.
Agree. I think it was Kyrie in Brooklyn. He was there. He was healthy. He played every game. He gave it his all. They just couldn't do anything with that roster. Kyrie didn't play.
But wait,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back even further. KD was a cancer in OKC because the team got broken up. If you really look at how they broke up the team, he couldn't deal with Harden like that. He had to trade Harden in Houston, and then him and Westbrook started bumping heads after that. And then he had left Jeff Green and Ibaka, all of them go.
Uncle Jeff.
See, the
They
problem
went
with
from 2012 finals, hottest team in the league,
Yeah.
to nothing in like 2-3 years.
Again, they were up 3-1 on maybe
Golden State.
Yeah, on one of the best teams ever, and just couldn't close the deal. And that, I mean, that will go down as such a turning point in Durant's career. That series, and again, and we talked about this before the show. It is, and it sucks to say, but his playoff record, his just record in general after leaving Golden State is going to tarnish that. I hate to say it, but
I'll
I
give him
wish
credit
it
for-
wouldn't.
I give him credit for this. If he doesn't tear his Achilles in that Toronto series,
Ooh, they
the
could've-
Raptors.
I don't know if I could say they wouldn't,
Raptors
but they
don't- they
could
don't
have
win
would
that
have been a
chip.
series.
They don't win that chip.
It would have been a
They
series.
don't win that chip.
Would have been a
I don't think they win
series
that chip at all.
Again, we'll
That was
see.
easy.
Again,
They had no
again,
Clay,
you heard it.
no KD, and they won that chip.
Nothing.
Come
They
on,
had
man.
nothing.
That was easy.
Yep. And again, I say he won't be on the team in 2 years. Too much money
He
for
gonna
a
be on
team.
the team next year. He gonna be
For
gone.
when you put all your, like you said, you put all your eggs in this basket. You bring in those 3 guys, and you have that bad of a roster, that bad depth, and you get swept in the, first round. That was not even in the realm of possibility after the Bradley Beal trade. It wasn't even a
They should
thought.
have kept DeAndre Ayton.
They should have kept a lot of things. It could Bridges, Chris Paul,
Campaign.
I mean, who knows? A couple big playoff
Torrey
runs not
Craig.
this year for Phoenix. Now let's go to the Minnesota side of things. Jason,
Yeah.
you were high on Minnesota, obviously, in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. We can go ahead and say now we think Denver's going to advance past LA tonight, and we're black could be the funeral for the Lakers. Denver going to wrap it up tonight. What do you think in the Minnesota? I think out of all the teams in the Western Conference, I think Minnesota is the biggest threat to Denver. They'll have them also right here in round 2.
OKC and Minnesota are threats to Denver. No matter how you look at it, they're both threats to Denver.
That size for Minnesota is daunting, and that's the size. They can match Denver, who's got that size themselves.
But remember, OKC has big guards. Denver doesn't. So they have size in
Jamal Murray banged up now as well.
in the backcourt.
Yep.
In OKC against them. So, but Minnesota,
I think right now, and again, I'm still on Dallas, and I know Matt felt the same way before. I'm still on the Mavericks. Luka has played not well, and they're still looking okay.
but
And Kawhi is not. I don't think we'll see Kawhi again. We'll touch on that series though in a second.
That's another story. But the Timberwolves are built to play against the Eastern Conference team. They're the better structured team to play against the Eastern Conference team. There's different level of physicality in the Eastern Conference. Western Conference is more like a fast-paced up and down. You have that like skill and passing and cutting. Eastern Conference, you're going to get beat up a little bit. You can be rough and tough. And they have the players. They have Gobert. They got Nas Reed.
Sixth man of the year.
You got Cat. Cat's been playing decent basketball
McDaniels
since he come
looked
back.
really good in that game before.
That X factor. You said his name. James Daniels is X factor on that team. If he gets going on the offensive end, they're really unstoppable.
But now Chris Finch though dealing with an injury after that collision with Michael Conley. I think he tore something. I think in the leg. Hopefully he's all right.
But Ant is the man. Ant-Man has amazing. He is a face. He is the face of the league because they had to move on from Ja. So he's next in line. No, I mean,
you're
think
right.
about it. Ja was the face 2 years ago. People don't give that man his credit. Ja was the face
You're
2
right.
years ago.
He was right
And
on
he
his way. He
blew
got
it.
that
And he
Nike
blew it.
shoe. Yep.
And he blew it.
He did in fact.
So
They're going to do a 30 for 30 on that.
So Ant-Man will be the hottest rising young star, but I'm gonna also give SGA a lot of love, who should be the MVP of the league.
Most consistent 30-point scorer in NBA history.
Nah, I ain't giving him that.
He should be MVP. Oh,
I
he
think
should be
so.
MVP.
I'm with Jason on that one. We'll talk about that another time. Matthew, though, Minnesota, they the biggest threat to Denver in the West.
Yeah, because they have one thing that Denver won't run into with OKC, and that's their size.
Yeah.
There's no break. They have Gobert. They have Karl Anthony Towns, even though Karl Anthony Towns thinks he's a shooting guard, but whatever. And then they have Nas Reed. They just have a bunch of guys they can run. And Jaden McDaniels, who plays small forward, is 6'11". So, they have size. They're built to withstand Aaron Gordon. They're built to withstand all the
And
cutting.
they got
those
Luka
guys
Garza.
do. Luka Garza, that's right. The man, Luka Garza only played 10 minutes in
Big
the
Ten
series.
just had to,
Yeah. But, I mean, again, I like Minnesota. I think I just did not expect Karl Anthony Towns to play this well.
Why not?
He's played – because I don't believe in Karl Anthony Towns.
He's been a
He normally shows up in the playoffs.
anti-Karl Anthony.
Karl Anthony Towns
I don't know about
is soft as a wet donut in the rain, man. I'm just going to keep it – I'm going to keep it real, man.
But I think now he understands
I
how
don't-
good Anthony Edwards is, and he's kind of just lets Ant.
Might as well call that man Caitlin Towns. I'm just saying, man. It's about the same thing, man. I don't know why people trying to act like this man ain't soft, but all right. I'm the only one that saw him playing.
I'm not gonna lie though, I didn't see a sweep coming in this series. I know we all said I think I had Phoenix in 7.
Why do you think they got
Minnesota,
They got Gobert for a reason.
Beat them down.
Because Gobert's tougher than that bull.
And again, this will be the series. This is a series that could potentially break up this big three. A sweep here to Minnesota. This team is not going to look the same. Maybe even next year.
They're gone.
In
Who?
Phoenix.
Phoenix? Oh,
After
Phoenix,
this,
yeah, Phoenix
this could be the thing that breaks this
Fire
team up
sale.
in Phoenix.
Yeah,
Start with
definitely
coach.
a fire
Quickly here, don't want to spend too much time
Yeah.
on it. Brunson, 47 points. Knicks
Wow,
take a
you got
3-1
beast. Can you get your ass whooped? You want to
series
know much time on it?
And we talked about this in the group chat over the weekend. Watching these Nova guys tear up the Sixers.
University of Villanova, New York.
Man,
Killing it,
it
man.
hurts down. It hurts down deep. Josh Hart got him for nothing.
Wildcat offense.
Dante signed him as a free agent. Sixers, didn't even make an offer
Big
or anything
ragu.
there. The big story though, Knicks fans showing up at the Wells Fargo Center. I mean, Matthew, we've seen a lot. Jason, a lot of games there. Been there, a lot of them. Seen a lot of them on TV.
Yep.
I can't remember anything like that, or resembling an opposing crowd with that type of factor in a playoff game, especially. Not ever in my career.
Well, here's the
at least as a Philly
thing. New York
Sixers
fans
sports
travel
fan.
well in every sport because everybody's
they
stadium
do.
is cheaper than theirs. So this is an uncommon.
But that's it. It's a money thing.
No, this is an uncharted water. They do this everywhere they go. So,
But it's never happened
for
in
the
Philly
fan
like this.
I'll tell you this: The Eagles fans would never allow it.
And somebody else would never allow it.
Phillies never allow it, but
never. And that's what I don't understand. Why is the Sixers getting the short end of the stick here?
But I mean, Knicks fans travel though. They always have, and you gotta remember.
And Dennis, do we have that tweet from Howard Eskin that he posted? I think this was yesterday. This is what he had to say regarding that.
It's amazing. This guy wants to be a reporter now.
And we'll have Matt's comments on it. There's been a lot of explicit by Philadelphia fans and some Sixers players about the Sixers home games being overrun by Knicks fans. The Sixers organization is in big part to blame. And, of course, here comes the song. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sixers, 10, 9, 8, 7 Sixers. Put thousands of tickets on the ticket sites and above retail, knowing the Knicks fans would buy them. The organization will likely push back on this, but for that organization, it's all about making every dollar. I have checked on this. It's fact. And they do know those stinking New York fans will buy those tickets. So if the Sixers players are pissed, blame your own organization.
I don't like Howard Eskin at all. But
Shut up, Howard.
But
I ain't trying to hear that, Howard. Show me that level of objectivity with the Eagles, dog. I dare you. I dare you.
We're gonna get Matt Jason.
I dare you.
What do you. I mean, this is what we talked about.
But I would say this:
show.
so we went to my wife and I. We went to the play-in game, and the tickets we were sitting lower level.
Yeah, they look like good seats.
And it was like
from those
it was like
photos.
one something. Those same seats for the game 3 jumped to 310. That was way too. They just.
So you buying what he's putting out
And
there?
I've gone to first round playoff games.
Yeah.
I've gone to Celtics, Sixers a couple times in Philly, and have never paid more than $200 for a ticket.
And again, we've got Ivan in the house here in the studio tonight.
Let me get them floor seats, cuz.
Ivan was at the game.
There we go.
Was at
Them
the
floor
game.
seats, cuz.
Well,
We need
we
those.
might have an opportunity to get there if they don't win on Tuesday.
Yeah,
So
well,
we'll see. But again,
gone
that
fishing.
environment a little bit surprising there. Brunson, though, was spectacular, 47 points. Nobody must be more in pain watching Jalen Brunson, not even the Sixers fans, than Mark Cuban over there in Dallas. Had him.
I'm
Had him
telling
all
you.
on. Didn't give him this. He just wanted the little league rookie extension. All he wanted was $40 million. Wouldn't give it to him. And, man, it's going to go down as one of the biggest mistakes in Dallas Maverick history.
That's Mark Cuban's fault.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Couldn't
Because
agree
Mark
more.
Cuban believed he wanted to make a European offense, but he doesn't understand that you need North American black players to play that offense.
Wow.
I'll tell the uncomfortable truth. That's exactly what happened. He wanted to go out there and make FIBA Dallas Mavericks. And he forgot the key
Kleba.
part that 85% of the NBA product is produced by North American players. Sorry, that's the facts.
And again, I sat there when Luka missed those games that year. Brunson's final year in Dallas, averaged over 20 points in the playoffs, over 7 assists. Just wanted $40 million. He said, "Look, I just want the $40 million. That's what I'll take it." They told him no twice. Man,
And can we talk about the one final turd in the 76ers?
yes, we're
Game.
on that topic.
I mean, Embiid.
Nope. I ain't got smoke for Embiid.
What
I ain't
Embiid's
got
going
smoke for
through
Maxey.
is unbelievable.
I got
With the
smoke
Bell's palsy?
Yeah.
for Tobias,
I've stuck
the
up for him in the
Ponzi
past.
scheme,
Oh
Harris.
my goodness, it is.
Get rid of this dude, man. 10 points, 4-10, a plus minus of -7. Get this man out of here, bro.
And he used to have a little bit of confidence in sometimes. I mean, he is even playing with no.
He's been playing 13
like,
years. Most confidence you need to be in
That's
the
what
NBA.
$37 million gets you.
I mean, it's
Dog.
it's
What does 38 million
unacceptable,
get
as
you?
Embiid would say. But oh my God,
So
he's making way more than what
maybe Tobias apologized.
Brunson wanted.
Like his doppelganger J. Cole did. Maybe
there
he
you
apologized
go.
too.
He need to apologize.
Mike
That's a
later.
His dad's his agent, and he was bad mouthing all Philadelphia fans, say they're ungrateful or whatever for.
Ungrateful for what? 10 points?
I'm with you.
And paying him $37 million?
And again, we're gonna wrap.
And the Sixers could have had Josh Hart too. He wanted to stay in Philly and play with the
Stop
Sixers.
that. Don't
I'm
do
not.
that.
I'm not going to stop him. He wanted to play in Philly.
I can't even say it. That draft, I said we could have had him and Jalen Brunson.
He wanted to play in Philly.
Should have had Dante in free agency last summer. Series over? Yes or no?
Michael Jordan Delaware, huh?
Yeah, it's over.
Dante DiVincenzo. Michael Jordan Delaware.
Yeah.
Series over?
Yes.
The Michael Jordan of Delaware is Terrence Stansbury.
I'm gonna say
Well, now they call him Dante that. I know that. You
Big
know
when
that.
I
I know
Google.
that.
Yeah, we can give him that. We can give him that.
I know that.
but either way,
No.
Embiid playing through a lot of stuff. I mean, I know we hate to say it, 5th year in a
LeBron
row.
prophesy.
He's been hurt in the playoffs, but one leg, Bell palsy. I mean, I don't know what else to say about Embiid. He's still trying to stick it out, but playing on one leg, the defense is just not
he
there.
had that,
they can't
that,
move.
At
down.
Forrest Whitaker.
Oh, not the Forrest Whitaker. Not the Forrest Whitaker. You call that man Forrest Whitaker, huh?
I mean, it was
In the crying game?
I was like, oh, what's wrong with Embiid? I was like,
He's like,
Oh man,
but but I will say this. Now, not that the
playing through it. It's never been done. Toughness.
No, but I will say this though. What about Embiid?
shout out to Embiid.
Like he's my
Respect.
He's my favorite big man in the
Favorite
league.
player in the league.
My favorite big man in the league. I love his game.
Y'all
but
capping right now, but all right.
No, I'm not. I'm not. But
He's your favorite big man in the league?
Favorite player. Yeah.
Favorite player?
Favorite player in the league.
Yeah, you tripping.
but
I'm good.
I don't think
Who's your favorite player in the league then? I mean, if I just had to ask you again, obviously not just
That's
the
a good
Embiid
question,
thing, but
actually.
just general.
Let's
Yeah,
play it
I
real
could-
quick.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
A favorite player
Favorite
in the
player in
league?
the league. Yeah.
You gotta pick one.
Maybe not necessarily the best. Is your favorite
Oh,
player in the
man.
league?
Who's my favorite player in the league? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's a good question.
You know you
right?
don't. You watching everybody.
I hate everybody equally, so I don't know. I don't know who's my favorite. Anthony Edwards, probably.
Yeah, maybe he's up
behind
there.
Shy.
I'll say this though.
Yeah.
I don't think Embiid has another 3 years in him,
That's a fact.
career wise.
Well, I sat up here and talked about even the possibility of trading. You guys jumped on me like crazy and thought it was the most insane thing ever.
Because he's the lifeblood of that team.
Well, you're right. I agree. But 5 years in a row, and I mean, it's not his fault. Again, it isn't. But 5 years in a row, woe is me. Something seems to be
Ain't no
wrong
woe is me.
there.
Y'all can get out. Y'all can get the first round, and that's just your fault.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 5 years in a row, and he's never been healthy. And again, he's the best player in the league, almost the best player in the league. In my opinion, Jokic probably is the best player in the league, but he's right up there, and it just stinks when you don't have
Is
him at
Jokic
full
the best
force.
player in the league?
I think he is.
Still?
Jokic.
Still?
Yes.
He don't play defense.
Moving on, please. With that,
don't-
moving
That
on.
man don't play no defense.
Either way, Lakers stay alive. Game 4
I
win.
better make basket.
Davis, 25 points, 23 rebounds. They go down tonight. I think it's over. Denver wraps this thing up tonight.
Probably.
Don't have to spend too much time. Also, LeBron potentially looking for a raise next season. We all know the Bronny draft talk. Odds are he'll stay with the Lakers, but what are you guys' thoughts on LeBron James?
He need to retire too.
He need to retire.
He need to retire.
Durant and LeBron need to retire.
Yes.
Then, huh?
Yes. Let it go.
Here's the thing about
Let
LeBron.
it
Here's
go.
the thing about LeBron. I'm being totally honest about this. This is the problem with LeBron. I understand why to the casual viewer they see the number at the end of the game and they say, "Oh, he still got it." But if you dig deeper into his
Stats? The
into
offense?
the stats, into the metrics,
Yeah.
and you really look at what he does, in that game-winning shot when they're coming down, he knows where because again,
You're talking about
LeBron-
Murray's game winner shot?
Yes,
Yeah.
LeBron is a genius. He knew who was getting the ball. You see in that matchup, he taps Anthony Davis on the shoulder and says, "You got him." Anthony Davis is 6'11". To ask a 6'11" guy to take on a guy like Murray is a difficult ask. It'd be much easier for LeBron if he still had the ability to do it, to go out there and go guard him. And that's not me saying that LeBron is no good. I'm just saying LeBron shows limitations now. They just don't show up in the box score. But if you look in the key moments and he takes plays off, there's plenty of times where he doesn't put a lot of effort on defense. And look, it's not me hating on the guy. The guy's 40 years old.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen. And then you take a look at the metrics. He has gone down tremendously from where he
6
was. Yeah, like it's not even really close. But again, the person who watches the stats and just says 20 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, he still got it. That's all they see. They don't see everything else that goes into
That's
it.
because LeBron knows how to get to the line still.
Right, he's a genius.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mean, again,
He's
The guy's a genius.
he's LeBron James.
He's a Mount Rushmore, but right now, this ain't. The NBA is moving away from the dinosaurs, which is why I say KD and LeBron. They're dinosaurs now in this league. That
I'd
need
take
to retire.
LeBron in Philly next year with all that cap space.
For what?
I mean, he'll do better than Tobias Harris by miles.
But LeBron is still option A.
Again, going to be a big, a lot different look for that Lakers team next year, too.
That's the problem. He's still
potentially.
option A.
They've had some bad signings the last few years as well. They spent a lot of money.
And who's to blame for that?
Le GM.
Palinka and LeBron?
No. Le GM.
There you go. You just said it.
LeBron.
Palinka and LeBron James.
Le GM.
Exactly. Shout out to Clutch.
We get Clutch to shout out almost every week here on the
fact.
show
All
going
right,
forward.
let's go to this
Let's
other
jump
series we're gonna
now
go with tonight.
to Milwaukee and Indiana.
My second turn team.
3-1, Pacers up 2-0 at home for Indy, going back after splitting in Milwaukee. Not only is Giannis out, when we sat here last week, it was if he would play, it was unlikely. He did, in fact, sit out, hasn't touched the court yet. But now Lillard, out as well for Milwaukee in that game yesterday.
His
They
ego
go
hurt.
down.
He ain't hurt.
Yeah, he
Is
hurt.
this series over? And again, we'll take a future look at Milwaukee, who gave up a lot. Drew Holiday, one of those big pieces, given up for
Thank
Damian
you.
Lillard.
over.
Doc Rivers is the coach. I don't hate to bring that up again, but I don't see them winning this series now with all these injuries.
It's done.
That was the first question. We can all agree there.
They weren't gonna win regardless.
So what's Milwaukee got to do now?
Blow it up.
Forward? Damian Miller's. You don't have to wait 2 years for that cap hit. He's going to cost you over $60 million next year.
Blow it up.
Giannis is gone.
Yeah, Giannis is
You
blow it up.
got to get
So
rid of
there's
him now.
well, he's still. Maybe I'm wrong here. He hasn't signed that other extension yet, correct? Or
No.
not?
Blow it up. He's leaving.
He
He's
could
gone.
be gone. I think.
He is gone.
He's gone.
And then you're stuck with it's man
Bobby
Milwaukee-
Portis.
But so say this all does happen, could you go back to that Lillard trade and that cost you? Was it the Lillard thing that
No, it wasn't a little trade.
No.
This was years before that.
Yeah.
This was not keeping Budenholzer. This was not keeping DiVincenzo. This was not keeping Drew Holiday. This was not keeping other
Grayson
role players.
that was
Grayson
all
Allen
this
in
past
between.
off season? A lot of that.
The last 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
This has been building. This is
Yeah.
But not to mention Adrian Griffin, 33-8.
and signing. What's his name? What you call him?
Who are you talking about?
His brother.
Oh, Theasis?
Yes.
Yeah,
and keeping him on the
Theasis.
roster.
Hey, he was great yesterday holding back Bobby Portis.
No, but
He was
keep-
great.
But
Shout out to Jack Haley, the original.
but keeping him on the roster, it doesn't make any sense. That's a spot that's not being
So kind of like
used.
what I said about Durant and Phoenix. You think this time's up for Giannis in Milwaukee?
Yes.
And
He's
the
gone.
championship window closed here. Those two guys
It
hurt.
is slam shut.
Slam-
I mean, they
shut.
don't have the bad depth that Phoenix has, but of course
Ain't
not.
close enough.
And Damian Lillard has officially proven that he's not a top 75 player. Get him out
He had
of
some
here.
big shots early in the series, but yeah, not a. And again,
That man's trash.
a lot of the Sixers fans wanted to deal Maxey in a deal for a 35 or whatever.
I bet they're mad. I bet they're
yeah,
happy they didn't do it
They're
then.
happy now, aren't you? All those guys that wanted to give up Maxey for Damian Lillard. So
Maxey might be one of the faces of the league now
Yeah.
too.
Dwight Howard should petition the
friend
NBA
of the show.
He could get back in, yeah.
to get back in that top 75 list and take Dame Lillard out.
Let's move on now to the Oklahoma City Thunder. We touched on them a little bit already. Top seed in the West. They take a 3-0 lead over the Pelicans. First time in NBA history, all the points and a half in that game were scored by players 25 or younger. OKC is performing, and they're performing well for a team that's this young in their first run in the playoffs. How impressed are you guys with OKC? And now are we finally ready to say that they're a threat in the West?
We've seen it before. 2012 OKC team. We saw it before. This is the
Seriously,
second.
do you think this team can make the finals?
They're a legit threat out the
I'm
West
with you.
still. They are. I'm not going to.
And again, not a lot of people giving them respect. They kind of got that Kings respect last year. The Kings had that good regular season. They get the 3 seed. Then they got the Warriors. Nobody picked them to
No,
win that
OKC
series.
is better than what the Kings were
agree.
last year.
I agree. But I'm saying it's kind of like a similar situation. They don't have the respect that the Kings showed that they didn't deserve it. But I think OKC does. What do you think, Matt?
They don't get respect because the pieces that they have aren't viewed as sexy. Other than Shy, people don't look at Jalen Williams and see that he's a consistent
He's
20-point
dog.
scorer.
Lou
Yeah.
Dort, you got.
We sat here on the draft
Josh
show
Giddey's-
that night.
Josh
from
Giddey's
Santa
who put up
Clara.
numbers.
Josh
Someone?
Giddey's the
Told us it was
best
my steal of the draft.
point forward, I think, with court vision. He's one of the best guys. And you have Chet Holmgren, who people snub their nose at, but he's made a huge difference.
Got the other Jay Williams on
And
the
again,
roster
one of the
making noise.
moves the Sixers made poorly in the last few years. Isaiah Joe, cutting Isaiah Joe,
Yep.
who has now been great for Oklahoma.
And Casey Wallace has been a good
Casey
one.
Wallace, yeah.
Yes,
Casey
absolutely.
Wallace, yeah.
Great for them as well. So again, big threats. All of us think they're threats there in the West. They'll look to see the Pelicans tonight. Think they'll get it done.
I just want to say one thing about the
Yeah.
Pelicans. Oh, man, this hurts me to say this. I had so much hope for Zion Williamson. And I've held on to this for a while because I'm like you guys. I'm a fan. And I saw a young man that looked like he was chiseled out of granite and jumped
Never seen anything like it.
like a freak, like
Never
a
seen
god. I mean, 280 pounds floating from the free throw line. It was incredible. Something I'd never seen before. But I got to tell you, and I hate to say this, until he gets discipline in his life, and whatever that looks like, he'll never reach the peak of his potential. He'll be a guy that we look back at and we say, that's like a Derek Coleman. That's like a guy that had all the talent.
That's a great comparison.
And could have dominated the league and just didn't have the discipline to go through with it.
Great comparison.
And I don't want to take anything away from Zion there. Another player that comes to mind with that kind of, those kind of traits in game was Ben Simmons, who
Yeah.
didn't have the discipline to even develop a little bit of a jump shot. He wanted to go out and, be
But
a celebrity.
I'll say
I mean,
this.
to a different extent, Zion's a way
Yeah,
better
with that-
player and prospect. So I don't know about probably Ben Simmons was.
But Zion could control more of his destiny than Ben Simmons could. Ben Simmons' back really just gave out on him, and it was just like, okay, it's not gonna work. But Zion, with his workout regimen and his eating habits, he can control all this.
And that other stuff that was going on.
With Mariah Mills last year.
Yeah. Well, we're allowed to bring it up here on the show.
Yeah, I mean, he had a little scandal.
That's a maturity thing, though, right? Like that's something he's gonna have to, avoid if you're that type.
He was Barkley-esque.
Yep.
But he didn't have Moses.
Dennis gonna give us a little Duke Blue Devils here.
But he didn't have Moses like Barkley did in Philly.
That's a fact.
And
he has
Barkley talks about that.
He has no vet
all the time.
He has no vet that will stay on him. He has no vet.
Well, he had Anthony Davis when he was drafted.
I said a vet.
For a few weeks.
I said a vet.
A vet.
You're right.
A real vet.
Never.
Real vet.
And I mean, you would think, I guess, CJ is a good guy. It's good.
But,
CJ's a good teammate to have.
The problem with the NBA now is you don't have those 32, 33-year-old, 35-year-old guys on the team who are pretty much player coaches.
Udonis Haslams.
You don't have those guys.
Yep.
Like even if you had a Haslam, be a night and day difference for him.
Yeah.
But the NBA, you don't have those guys. They don't stay in the league anymore.
Yep.
Like once you're like, what the average age of aging out around 32, 33 in the NBA now? About that. So you hit that age, you're like, oh, you're like an NFL running back. Wait, what do you mean to me now? So, but the Pelicans. I mean, I've been to the arena. It's a nice spot.
King?
Yeah, it's right across from the Superdome. It's right there. But I have a Zion jersey, just being funny. But but no, they're gonna have to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. Seems like there are a lot of teams that are gonna have to make some.
No, but
coming up this next
decision now, it might not be Zion. It might be if they keep Ingram or not.
Yeah, but I say Bi.
It might be a decision now.
And Ingram, again, he dealt injuries this year,
but Ingram is still playing at a peak level. He can go anywhere else and still be solid.
I think he's the most valuable player.
I do too.
Is.
Him and Herb Jones.
Yeah.
Herb Jones is loved around the league. Herb Jones is and rightfully so. He's the type of guy you want on your team.
And Murphy.
Yep, Trey Murphy.
Excuse me.
But now they're done.
Jason, we're going to talk about your Celtics here. They're underway right now. They lead 13-12 in Miami in Game 4. 3-1 series lead. I do want to get your reaction to what happened, though, in Game number 2. Quickly, did you I was shocked that they were able to win that game. Thoughts on that game?
I wasn't shocked. I have a friend who's a Heat fan. I said, "Dog," he said, at the game, well, y'all going to sweep us. I said, no, we'll give a game up. I knew going before game 2 we're gonna give a game up.
So what do you think about tonight? Any chance?
Oh no, the series is over. The series is over. But the thing is, the Celtics is this. We've been watching them for the last 4 years. We know that Boston's worst enemy is their own self. It's not any other team. It's themselves. And Boston's Achilles heel, until they fix it, is guarding the 3-point line. You can get open looks against the Celtics all day from a 3-point line because the perimeter defense is non-existent. It's been like that for the last 2. Even with Udoka, it's been like that. Boston, as a team, does not guard 3-point line well.
So what do you think about the Celtics so far in the playoffs? Obviously, the favorites to get back to the conference finals. Just thoughts on how they've looked.
I like, of course, I love the squad. I like them. But the problem is this. You're not going to win a championship playing hero ball. You can't have Tatum taking over for a quarter, then giving Jaylen Brown a quarter. That's not going to work. You have to play offense and run sets. The problem is Boston isn't running any offense right now.
So with the way what you've talked about and what you've seen from them so far in the playoffs, you still confident that, and they are the title favorites right now?
Because Boston does defend. They just don't got a 3-point line. Like it's cause like.
So
fast break defense, resistant defense.
Better, worse, or the same coming in as you do here through?
I feel the same, okay. and the key to Boston winning the title is still it's not Tatum, it's not Brown, it's Porzingis. If Porzingis stays healthy,
and I think a little Missoula mixed in there as well.
Is Porzingis and Derek White will be the keys to Boston hoisting the trophy. If they don't play well, Boston doesn't win anything.
Shout out to Luke Cornett.
Luke Cornett, man.
Shout out to, I'll tell you what, he was having a very good season, and I don't know how.
Shout out to O'Shea Brissett.
Sam Hauser.
There you go.
Under big
Sam Hauser been hitting. He's been hitting corner threes like
he's
crazy.
Been big for them.
Great find for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick thoughts on the Celtics. Do you think they're ready to get back to the finals?
Yeah.
And skipping forward, I think the Knicks-Boston would be a great series if it goes to the conference final. I think the Knicks could win the next. I think I go 6 or 7 games regardless in that series.
Yeah, that's a.
Nobody. I've
that's
never
the matchup
seen.
Boston.
I've never seen a team like the Knicks 18-8, they out-rebounded the Sixers in that fourth quarter. 7 offensive rebounds. Josh Hart had 18 rebounds. That team, nobody will out-hustle or outwork that team. They just won't do it.
The NBA wants Celtics Knicks. The Celtics don't want Celtics Knicks.
I bet you they don't either. And again, they still would be the favorite to win. But I'm with you there. I think that's a tough matchup, but it would be fun to watch for sure. So you think Celtics would have the track to get back to the finals? You pick them?
Yeah, for sure.
Celtics, I'm with you there. Magic Cavs, just a second. The series tied. It's a good series. I don't think it matters much. No. Celtics will probably blow out whoever they play in round 2.
I was watching someone online earlier said, the Mavs Cavs series is so uninteresting. It should be put on Snapchat. Nobody's watching anyway. Nobody's watching this series.
I think it was blowout victories in every game. Magic won the last 4. I think by last 2 in Orlando by an average of like 30. Doesn't matter. They will go down to Boston in the next round. The only interesting news there will be, where will Donovan Mitchell be in a year or 2? I don't think it's Cleveland. He'll be out of there. He does not want to stay. At least that's what we heard.
Yep.
Who's been impressive to you guys? If you could see one team so far in the playoffs, who do you think's been the most impressive team so far?
It's the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I think about Minnesota.
Timberwolves. Yeah, I did not expect them to sweep.
Yeah, me either. I had Phoenix in 7, so I did not. I didn't think, and again, I thought coming into Sunday, I wasn't sure. I kind of thought Minnesota would sweep, but I wanted to see what Durant and them would do. Down 3-0 at home. Can they just get one? Do they have it in them to just get one game? They did not.
Nope.
So I don't know about Phoenix again going forward there. Nas Reed wins 6th Man of the Year, Maxey Most Improved Player, and Mark Daigneault wins Coach of the Year. Any issues with those 3 awards?
None.
Yeah, go all the way across. I thought Mosley did a great job with Orlando. He was on that short list. Finch with Minnesota on the short list. But Daigneault, #1 team in the West with all those young guys, got to give it to him.
Yep.
There. Lastly, are just some news coming out. Rumors that a star to join San Antonio. Again, who knows who's talking about it? Brian Windhorst reported that earlier this week. Somebody could be going to join Victor Wembanyama. You buying it? San Antonio never been a big thing for free agents. I don't know if I am.
I'm buying it.
Already, too?
If it's LeBron, yeah.
Yeah, call me up, guy.
You get Bronny, too, over there?
No,
I don't think they'll do that. I don't think San Antonio will. See, that's the only thing. I think Bron would fit perfectly with that organization. The problem is, I don't know if Bron's ego will fit perfectly with that organization, because they're not going to allow him to go in there and run things.
And private planes, all that.
Yeah. But look, I think if he got to a team like that, I think him having Victor, them having Shohan, and some of the other young guys they got, I think he'd be a huge.
I can see Paul George in San Antonio.
A lot of rumors to him. Again, he has not signed that extension with the Clippers. Could have signed it for a while now. There's a lot of why hasn't he done that?
I can see Paul
He's
George.
been linked to the 76ers. 33-year-old Paul George coming, next year. All that cap space would be to Maxey, most likely to be the only guys on the team.
He ain't coming here. Give it up.
Well, it kind of like the same thing to Lillard with me here. Is Paul George is going to be 33? And
he's better than Tobias.
I'm saying, but he's going to want a 4-year max contract. Would you do that if you're the Sixers?
For Paul George,
yeah.
For
Paul George, yeah.
He's a good two-way
player.
Oh, no doubt. I'm just saying, once you hit
33,
he'll be 37 when the contract's up.
He's actually a scorer, too, though. So it's not like you're getting somebody that can only give you 10 points a game. He can still give you 20, 25 a game.
Do you think his game will age well?
Yeah, his game already has aged well.
You got a big I got Paul George bag right over there.
No, his game already. Yeah, Paul George's game already aged well. He's one of those superstars that I actually love in the NBA.
Yep.
For everything that happened with the injury, the Olympic trials, all that stuff, and him still be playing at a high level now for 10 years plus since the injury. Yeah, Paul George is one of my favorite players in the NBA. I will say that.
Age scares me a little bit, but we'll see. Hopefully they can bring in something.
You brought it in hard, and you scared about Paul George.
I didn't say I wanted
That's
that
a
either.
fact.
You're right. If I had to choose between the two, and look how that ended. And old James Harden didn't actually work out well.
Listen, me and Kyle Lowry are the same age. Please stop it right now.
Man, and
we just I
love Kyle Lowry. Some of the stuff Kyle Lowry does,
listen,
is insane.
I could not get an NBA team 2 minutes at 39 years old. He out there trying to play at 39. No,
He gonna be in the Hall of Fame though.
Yeah,
should be.
If
Kyle Lowry?
We putting Chauncey Billups in.
Touche.
I don't want to put him in.
But Chauncey won Finals MVP. That's the only difference.
Well, yeah, I got you.
Now, as far as career numbers, Kyle's numbers are better career-wise. Overall, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But I think that's the career track he followed, because they have the same career path.
Pretty much.
Bounced around a couple teams and got solid with one team and stuck it out for a nice amount of time. Same way.
Yeah.
But shout out to Kyle Lowry, though. But yeah, he's 39 and he's still playing.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is. Now he's starting.
He's starting.
Starting.
And he shouldn't be.
Love Kyle Lowry.
He's a liability on defense. I was at that game against the Heat.
Don't
I'm like,
say.
like, bruh, why is he out here? Like, what is going? His foot speed is gone. What is
Everything going.
Again, he was used to lead the league in charges. That was a big part of his game defense. I mean, he is just getting knocked around out there. I don't know. It's funny to watch.
The reason why Miami let him go, man. There's a reason why.
And Pat Riley let somebody go.
There's a reason why.
There's a reason why. He's right. Final thoughts here as we going around, close out on Monday. Again, some playoff games here tonight. Not sure if we have to watch the Celtics Miami. I think Boston might take care of business. If somehow Miami wins this game, who knows what's going to be interesting for Boston going forward. But final thoughts here, Matthew. What do you got?
I mean, I think we just talked about the transition that the league is going through with the older players. KD, LeBron, Curry. We looked at this Team USA.
Youth movement.
Man, we're seeing a transition, and I think we're going to see the last bit of whatever these guys got. And I hope as fans we take inventory, because whether we like it or not, there's going to be a transition that the league is going to be dealing with in the next couple of years that we're going to see. We're going to see Curry start to be out. We're going to see
That's going to be
KD,
sad to see.
LeBron. I mean, these are guys
And again, those are starting five for Team USA, right?
Correct.
I mean, all those guys coming up this summer: LeBron, KD, Curry. Embiid. Would
Even
be in
James
there.
Harden's
He's
up
not
there,
one
man.
of
He
those
might have
guys.
to.
even James Harden.
James Harden's going to be.
I mean, that's four guys right there.
And
Westbrook out the
Kawhi
league, too.
Leonard
Yeah.
got that last
Westbrook,
spot. We're not
Kawhi.
going to see a lot of Kawhi going forward.
Westbrook, Kawhi. You got a lot of players who are in that 35 and up range that are going to be.
that are going to be gone.
Yeah.
So,
Cherish
Draymond
it.
Green.
Who knows where he goes though? But Jason, what do you got?
Opening round has been interesting of the NBA playoffs. I'm excited to see who the next star is going to be and who the next playoff star is going to be. The playoffs always have people become stars. I think we've seen the coming out party for Tyrese Maxey officially.
Yep.
I mean, we saw it the last 2 years, but now it's like, okay, no. Tyrese Maxey is officially the man in
They
Philly.
just need a little more help, man.
Tyrese Maxey is now the number one option in Philly. Like, there's no getting around it. He's 1A. He's number one. And B is not the first option anymore.
It's his boat.
Wow.
Tyrese is the captain of the boat in Philly, man. He really is. And they better build around him properly.
I do think I agree with Jason. They're going to have to make that change soon, where they're going to have to start putting things around Maxey, because I just think from a health perspective, I don't know much longer they got with him.
Tried to say it. I got yelled at here at the desk.
Well, because he came up with MVP, but now it's like, okay, no, now it's like, okay, you really got to do something differently now, yeah.
We'll see. Again, it's very painful to say. I mean, because when he has been on the floor this year, he's been.
No, he still put up numbers,
unbelievable. Even before he got hurt, like, his numbers when he was healthy at the beginning of the season, they had the best record in the league with him and Maxey.
But here's the thing: the numbers aren't the problem. It's it's the fit on the court.
But again, though, it's this. He's playing with a guard. He has one leg. He's playing like a guard because he can't battle in the post in the series. It's hard to watch.
And the Sixers, the offense flows better when he's not on the court, though.
I don't think so at all.
No, it does.
I think that's absurd.
No, it does. The flow of
Embiid
offense
has been off the floor for 31 minutes in this series against the Knicks. You want to know what the Sixers are in their plus minus?
That's because his contribution. I'm talking about the way the offense actually, the sets they actually run, how they look. I didn't say the contribution, but I'm saying
I'm gonna say
how
it
the
anyway.
offense flows. It flows differently. Like
minus 38 in 31 minutes.
That's because he's getting
with Embiid off the
20
floor.
free
That
throws in
is
like 10
a
minutes.
staggering statistic.
I want to know why Mo Bamba isn't playing.
When you're getting out-rebounded like that, I'm with you too.
I got
Honestly, you got
questions.
to do something.
I got
you
questions.
You can't get out-rebounded
Why Mo
by
Bamba
10
not
in the
playing?
fourth quarter at your own
I got questions.
floor.
Because Paul Reed is not a 5, he's a 4, and they keep playing
That's
as
a
a 5.
fact. They always play him out of position.
He's
I
a
don't get
5.
that
He's a
He didn't
4.
get a lot of minutes at all yesterday.
But
he's
he's a 4.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
Who knows what the Sixers going to have to
But
do
Mo Bamba has to
something.
play more, man. Like, for real. Like,
yeah,
This might be too little too late now.
Yeah, I
They
think
could be
so.
packing it up. You guys think they can win tomorrow night?
I do, actually.
At the Garden?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. This series is over. This series
Well,
might
if they
go.
win tomorrow night, I think they got a shot.
No, the series still might go 7.
But if healthy Embiid, again, I think the Sixers win this
The series still might go 7, because I think Maxey can win you a game by itself still, too.
They cannot and will not out-hustle. Then the 50-50 balls go the Knicks' way. Offensive rebounds go the Knicks' way.
You're playing against a Tom Thibodeau coach team.
I know. They
What do you
can't
expect?
match. They cannot match it no matter what. And I think you can't beat them unless you match it. So we'll see what happens if they can come out with that energy. You can't let Josh Hart get 18 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds for the Knicks.
That can't happen ever.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy. So that'll do it for us here on a Monday. Draft again wrapped up. Preseason going to be fun. Training camp just around the corner, but the NBA playoffs heating up again. So a lot of NBA talk going forward. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.